Next, we are going to add these stairs and the railings, which does have the most steps to it, because we're actually going to add railings to several different places, as well as edit the floor a little bit. But the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add our staircase in. So I'm going to go to the lower level plan, and I'm going to open up the stair command, and I'm just going to do a straight staircase that kind of starts from here and goes up this way. So I'm just going to click to start it, and then once I have that filled in with 18 risers, I'm just going to click again and then hit the check mark to finish it, and the stairs will just kind of be created automatically for us. Now I'm going to open up the entry level floor plan, and I'm going to edit the floor to make a little area for the stairs to fit in. So I'm going to click on the edge of the floor, edit boundary, and I'm going to use the line tool to draw a line from right here up 6 feet, enter, over 3'4", enter, and then back over here to meet. I'm going to hit escape twice and then click on this line and drag it up, so that this way I have all one cohesive piece now. And I'm going to click on the green check mark to finish editing, and I'm going to say no to this prompt. Now I'm going to move my staircase into this little area that I made. So I'm going to select it and use the move tool, and I'm just going to grab it from this endpoint. I don't know why it's only letting me move on this one, but that's fine. I'm just going to move it into place there, and I'm going to use move again to grab it from this endpoint and move it to there. Typically, I'm able to just free move it. I'm not sure why I wasn't able to, but I'm not going to stress myself out over it. So that way I just have it sitting nice and even in that space. Now I'm going to modify the railings on the staircase. So I'm going to go into my 3D view, and I can see the railings in there, and I can try to select them from here, or I can hide this curtain wall as well, but I can actually select them through it. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to change the railing type to guardrail type, and I'm going to zoom in and try to get the other one, and change it to guardrail pipe, and hit escape. And now we're going to add our railing to the deck going on the outside. So I'm going to go back into my entry level floor plan, zoom out a little bit and scroll to see this entry deck, and I'm going to go into railing, where I can sketch in a path for my railing. So I'm going to use the pick lines option here, and I want an offset of 4 inches. So I'm going to type in 0 space 4, enter. And what I can do is just select one of the floor lines and select another one. And then I'm going to hit escape. And before I'm finished, I'm just going to select this one, and I'm just going to drag the endpoint so that it goes just a little bit past where the retaining wall itself is. I'm going to click OK, and now I have a railing. What I also want to do is click on it, edit path, And I want to edit this one so that it's just exactly 10 feet. So to do that, I'm going to click on this number and type in 10, enter, and it'll actually shorten it so that it's exactly at 10 feet. And I'll click the check mark, and now I have my railing here. I just want to check that I've got the right type, so I'm going to click on it, and I need it to be guardrail pipe. And let's look at everything 3D. And then I've got my railing in there. One thing I'm noticing looking at mine is that my door is just a little too close for comfort to the railing. So I'm just going to click on it. I'm just going to use my arrow keys to shuffle it over a little bit. That easy of a fix. But now I also realize I've got to change my floor. So I'm going to edit type. And I'm just going to drag this floor over because I made this floor go perfectly to where the door was. But still, pretty easy of a fix. Right? Do I want the floor to go up? No, I don't. Then I'm going to create a railing going on this ramp here. So I'm going to go back into the railing tool. I'm going to choose pick lines again. I want an offset of 4 inches. So I'm going to highlight that and type in 0 space 4, enter. And I'm going to create a railing there. I'm going to drag that end line so that way it just goes a little bit, or pretty much meets exactly where my retaining wall ends. And I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to go look at it 3-dimensionally. And there's 2 things I notice. One is that it's not the type of railing I want, which is pretty easy to fix. I just click on it and change its handrail to a guardrail pipe. And then the other is I just come and click is the fact that it's not slanting along with the slant of my ramp here. So all I'm going to do is just select it, pick new host, and click on the slanted ramp, and then it'll slant your railing down with it. Back in the entry-level plan, I'm going to add railing to cover right here with my stairs. So I'm going to go back into the railing command. One thing you can also change beforehand is you can change your properties type here. So I can change to guardrail pipe beforehand. And I'm going to stay in draw for this. And that's because whenever I try to use pick lines around staircases, I usually get a bunch of error codes thrown at me that just make me very angry and frustrated. So I'm going to stay in just the drawing lines, but I still want an offset of 0 space 4, enter. And I'm just going to draw a line starting from down here up from where my stairs are over to meet it. And then I'm going to hit escape, and I can either use the trim tool or I can click on these lines to drag to meet. In order to make a railing, it all has to be one continuous piece. So even though I have to make a railing over here as well as on the south side, I do have to type them in as 2 separate railings. I'm just going to click finish. And then I'm going to go back to the architecture tab, railing, going to use the draw. I'm going to give it an offset of 0 space 4, enter. And I'm just going to follow from this side over, and I also have it set to guardrail pipe, and I can just check off. And then the last railing I'm going to add is on this little deck out here. So to do railing for that balcony is I'm going to, once again, in my architecture tab, click on railing. I want to key stay and draw with an offset of 4. And I'm going to go in, from this direction, over, up, click, and over. I really only need it to go where that wall there meets. I'm going to hit escape, and then I can either drag these points or use the trim tool to just kind of cut all these lines to meet each other. That didn't work how I wanted it to at all. So I'm just going to drag these points to meet each other. Click on the line, drag the endpoint, click on the line, drag the endpoint, and finish. Now what I want to do is just look at it 3D and just make sure I've got them all set to guardrails. So I'm actually going to change my view to consistent colors to make it a little easier to look at. So I've got guardrails, I've got this one slanted, I've got guardrails going exactly where I want them to be, guardrails going around here on the outside, and let me temporarily hide that wall. I've got guardrails up there on the inside too, so I've got everything set exactly the way I need it to. So I'm going to reset that temporary hide and save my work.